Okay, so welcome to Bliss Unit Live. We have Miss Carol Fox and Joy Powers joining us tonight. There's a few that will hop on, but we're going to go ahead and start it because we have a lot to cover this evening. Okay, so we're going to start out with recognition, and I first want to recognize we had a unit challenge for warm chattering, and Jan, she should be on here any moment. She actually got 4 brand new names for the very first time. She learned how to warm chat. We went over a few scripts, and she got 4 in, I believe, the doctor's office. And so I had a prize, and of course I had that out. And where is it at? So we had a prize at the girls' a business builder kit, and congratulations to Jan for achieving that. Super proud of you for taking on the challenge. And so let's give her a round of applause and her prize material, of course. Way to go, Jan!
Yay!
Okay, we gotta play the noise. Okay, so we even have a video. The Queen. Miss Hannah is our choreographer? Yes, okay. So congratulations to you, Jan. Okay, and Miss Joy is our queen of bookings tonight. Oh no, it's telling me my internet stables and make sure nothing else is on. Okay, so it's telling me my internet is bad. Okay, so let me know if things don't sound too clear. Okay, so now we have our queen of bookings and Joy Powers. Woohoo! Okay.
Right. Woohoo!
Is our queen of bookings. So she just was on fire last week and had tons of results even in one day. So super proud of you. And so super exciting to see your business grow and just take off, as well as just see the results just change instantaneously. So way to go for moving forward on that.
Well, how many bookings was that?
Well, let's see. I believe it was 4.
4 in one day.
Yeah, and now I'm up to 8.
Great. Great.
So that's super awesome. Yes, and an interview scheduled for tomorrow on top. And guest at the meeting last night. So way to go. Super proud of you. Super exciting. So hello, Miss Queen. You get a prize, of course, from the prize box. Do you remember our prize box at our meetings?
Oh, hang on. You're cutting out.
I was just saying, do you remember our prize box from the Denver meetings?
I do. I saw that and I was like, prizes.
Yes. Okay. And so the next winner for the evening is Miss Faith.
Woo!
And Faith is, we have a new one we're going to start. It's called 100 Grand Days. And so it's great for all consultants to be able to participate. And so each time you sell $100 in a day, you are going to post your results in the Facebook Bliss page. And so Faith did that. Faith is our queen of sales for almost 600 in, I don't know if it was in one day, but she's a queen. And she also posted her results. So she's going to get the prize for the 100 Grand Days. So keep remembering that, because I know that it's new. It's just getting in the habit of remembering to post it so that you can get that extra prize in there for the week. So way to go, ladies, on your successes and wins, because each win is another step closer to your goal, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what we are going to cover tonight is a strong closing. And so I want to be able to go over some brand new documents, as well as some statistics that I want to share with you on the results of it. And so after I saw these results, I went ahead and my bookings this past weekend and used every one of them. And let me tell you, I'm like super excited. So I want to go ahead and read it to you, and then we'll go ahead and cover those. So it says there's another director that covered it, and Some of these documents, in particular, when we get to the closing sheet, the closing sheets are the ones that came from R.E. Hathaway, which is super amazing. And so what I wanted to share with you, it says, with the math breakdown and profit margin, I sold $25,000 in 76 days and recruited 17 personal team members. Can you get excited about that?
Wow.
Yes. So we know the results are here, and it says in 2.5 months. These closing sheets, is all that we're going to cover tonight, are what contributed to my numbers, I believe, in a huge, huge part. What a compliment that Ari's national area and a few others, along with over 100 units, also joining with these exact same closing sheets, because they have the highest profit margin than they've ever seen in their career. And so it says, I truly believe the reason why my personal face average has increased to $283 per face, and my consultants' averages have increased up to 203. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why when I saw these, I'm like, even though, okay, and Joy, I know that you're a lot like me in the fact that, well, but I like this one, it looks prettier. So I have a hard time going, okay, I'm still similar where I have the starter kit on the back. So it's just a minute change. But when I saw these results, as well as Jamie started using them as well, I'm like, okay, do we really want to sell and move, or do we want to stay with the pretty picture? So after I saw this, I'm like, hello, we should definitely do this. So of course I got them on Friday, got all my stuff printed and laminated, and Saturday, what do you know? I sold the $311 bag.
Wow.
Yeah. So it says the skincare sheets coordinate. Oh, I can't say, I can go over that. So pretty much that's the statistics of the increase, which are, in my mind, ginormous, and super excited about it. Okay. So the one change that I'll go over first, because I think the closing is such a huge piece of it, that the one thing, and Joy and I have kind of been playing around, and Carol, you have seen it, the marketing survey that we use where it goes over what women want, and then they give their opinion at the very bottom of the closing.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been toying around with that and combining one of the sheets that I did at the last event that we did while I was in Denver. And so been playing around as well as really praying, like, Lord, what is the blueprint in this new season? And so he has revealed that, so I apologize, but I am grateful that we're being able to play around and find out what really works, because Joy and I have toyed around with the last sheet that we used, which was, I think, great, and it has a lot of information on one sheet, but I was finding after I did use that there was bits and pieces that it just didn't work for me. Okay. So now I'm glad, because now we have a new one that we like. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share the screen. And of course you have a copy inside your email, but right here is a new sheet. And what I love about it, and we'll go over it further, is this will replace our marketing sheet. Okay. So this is what we're going to use in place of to go over. And again, it's the same format. So when you present marketing, it's still going to be where you're going to pull out your sheet and you're going to give each and every one of the guests this did you know. So let me share the screen and show you. Okay. So can you see? So this is a sheet. It says, did you know? What I love about it, can you still see me and hear me okay?
Yep, your little itty bitty screen.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So what I love about it, and I'll just go over it briefly, of course you can go over it later, but you would still interact and have them pull this out. What's nice about this as well is it doesn't sound like it's, because you always have these women in there that feel intimidated, like when you even say the word marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm not interested. Do we have to do this? Like I came for my facial, right? So what I love about this is statistics of Mary Kay, so it doesn't appear to be, it says, did you know? This about Mary Kay. And what I love about it is it has a lot of facts and figures, as well as some critical questions that they ask themselves that we would normally ask in an interview. And we find all of this all in this document. It's amazing. And so it says, did you know this about Mary Kay? It talks about the good housekeeping approval, about we have 1,400 patents on the development of prestigious products. It talks about cars, so we're not going into the 500, 900, you know, of course you're going to do that in an interview, but it says over, so you're talking about cars, 181 million. So they circle yes or no, and so it's interactive from the very beginning. It talks about, which it hasn't in the past, did you know that we had incredible retirement plan? A lot of people don't know this, yes or no. So they feel like they're just, it's very interactive. They feel like they're just answering a question. And then it talks about the commissions, the different perks and prizes. So of course it goes over Miss Cab, but it's, I feel, in further depth, and I really, really like it. It talks about the philosophies, extra money, prizes, 6 qualities, and then the critical questions is, am I paid for what I'm really worth? Do I have all the flexibility I want? Is my current career what I want for the rest of my life? And do I have complete control over my career advancement? So it goes over a little bit more than, and then of course the same 1 to 10, no 5s. And then it has room at the very bottom to go ahead and put their name, phone number. And so that is the new marketing sheet that we're using. So you tell me, I can see on your face, Joy. So tell me what your thoughts. You do?
I love it. I was laughing at the very part where the bottom where it said I'd rather eat dirt. So that's why I was laughing. I love it. Absolutely.
Oh, good. Okay. So, and I want to go over before we move on, because I know there's a lot and I'll get distracted and forget. So one thing that you can do, there's 2 points in the class, and I want to go over it because I know presentation is everything. We always used to close at the very end with the closing sheet, and marketing was last before you would do your drawing for prizes and such for whoever did tickets. Okay. Now you want to make sure before the closing that I'm going to cover, you want marketing. You're going to reverse it. Marketing will go first. Closing will be last.
Marketing before table close?
Yes. The other key point that you can change it is now, let's say you're a beauty experience and you've got a charcoal mask that they've chose or a facial peel that they have chose. Okay, referral game does not take 20 minutes to do, okay? So at that point, what you could do that Jamie's been doing is right after your referrals, go ahead and bring this survey in to complete to get you the 20 minutes to fill your time gap in so it's not kind of awkward. Use this at this point instead, and then once you're done with facial treatments and obviously dash out the door, at that point then you can go straight to closing. But either do it right before closing as we normally would, or you're going to do it right in. So I like that it gives you an option that you have something extra to do at that point. And because it's not really talking about a marketing plan and asking them questions, did you know this? Even if it's incorporated towards the beginning after referrals, it works. Okay. So this is the new sheet. Sure.
Just a quick question. You probably haven't gotten there yet, but what are they still doing? A prize, like a reward entry into anything for their opinion?
Good point. Yes. What I am doing is doing a drawing once a month for the people that participate and give us their opinions.
Okay. So do I just say a drawing for a prize?
Yes. At the beginning of every month.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good question. The one thing is that's different now as well that I want to bring up, even though it's not related to a strong close, but since we're kind of going over new documents, and it will tie into the very end, but the profile card, the new profile cards actually has a spot for 15 names on the back. So you could just use your profile. So really the only document that you're going to need extra for them would be this, did you know, and the profile sheet.
That's awesome.
Because what I've done, and of course I'll go over it, is this, the closing sheet, of course, you don't need till the very end. Okay? So referrals will go on the back. When you get to the referrals, is you let them know, flip it over. Of course, if you want that extra fancy, but what we're doing as well is and I let them know once they start the game, the referral game, is for every 5 names, you're going to get an extra ticket. So that they'll get to 15 and they'll have the extra tickets for every 5 names. Because let's say they're at 3, it's going to push them. It's not as large and big of a move as to go from 1 to 10, but they're going to, for every 5 names, you let them know they're going to get extra tickets for the prize at the end. So you're doing it in 5s. But again, there's no right or wrong. If you want to use that separate fabulous referrals, go right ahead. But this is what we're doing with the new. Okay, so now we went over that. Okay, so now I'm going to go into the documents of these new closing sheets of the statistics. And before I get too far along, what I did is I sent you 2 different documents. And one document, they look very similar, but one of them has only, pull it up. Hang on just a minute. Because I need to find what I had the virtual assistant do is, let me pull it up and then I can share it with you. Okay, so let me share the screen again. Okay, can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what the new closing sheet looks like. And so I have 2 different documents, and this one is a 3D. So this is the main one that you will be using at every single appointment. And so this is the closing sheet, and you go, it has 4 different sets on it. And then on the back of it, so what I would recommend is laminate them.
Can you rotate it, Christy, or no?
I'm sorry, what?
Can you rotate your sheet or no?
Well, I don't know if it will. Let me see.
Joy, do you have this?
Huh?
Do you have this sheet?
I have it pulled up on my side, but it's the same portrait layout.
That's okay, Christy. I'll get it later.
Hold on, Hannah's going to try and see if she can. I don't think it will.
That's okay.
Okay. Sorry.
Thanks, Hannah.
Okay. So this is what the closing sheet looks like. I highly recommend to laminate it just because color printing costs a lot. And so really it might be a little bit extra in the beginning, but I would recommend start out with a few. If you can do 4 of them or start out with a couple, because you definitely wanted them in color to be able to visually see. And I can share a testimony with you when I actually sold that $300 bag this weekend for using it for the first time. But the reason why I say that is on the back, you're just going to use, and so you'll have just the 4 so that you're not having to print new ones each time. That will cost even more having to use them take it home or them writing on it. So I believe that it'll save you a lot more up front by just laminating it from the very beginning. Okay, what I have done is on the back of this is, and let me scroll over to the very end. Okay, so on the back of it is, sorry about it, but it's sideways, but this is your starter kit on the very back of your closing sheet. So it's very beautiful, as well as it talks, so it shows the value of what comes in it, and it shows every single tool in there that comes full size inside it. And so that is your closing sheet. So I had my virtual assistant, let me see, I'll stop it for a second. What I did was I had her make us 2 different documents. One is the main 3D that you will be using, starter kit on the back. There's a second one in there. For example, let's say you're doing a closing sheet with repair. Let's say you're doing like Joy did not too long ago, you're doing a class with men and you're doing the men's line, or you're doing botanicals. Botanicals is new, okay? So of course you're gonna be demoing that more than you necessarily would, because there's a brand new product launch that's coming out in 3 weeks, okay? So what I did was, for you, so you girls had the tools that every time you needed to do a closing sheet. And so these closing sheets, what I love is the old ones had the repair, the botanicals, 3D, all in one. But what happens is, why I love this and why their statistics are so high is because these in particular only show them what they try to put on their face that day. So confused mind, oh, well, this skincare, tell me about this one. This might be cheaper, or what? Tell me about that one. They didn't even try it that day. So that's why I want you, if and when you need it, these others, and I'll go over them in just a second with you. Let me share the screen again. Okay, so here we go. And again, uh-oh. I might have scrolled too fast. That is not good. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay. And again, this is top secret because you girls are not even supposed to see what this the botanicals looks like. So do not forward it to anyone, please. This is for your eyes only, just because the one document doesn't have it, where I had just the front and the back. But this is the document that has each of them. So whenever you have an appointment doing these particular sets, you have all the documents as well as the tray liners and they're all coordinated by color. Do you see? Pink is the 3D. Then you have a closing sheet that is just for repair. And as you can see, it talks about only the 4 sets with the bag, the 4 different bundles, excuse me. Okay, then we move to clear proof, yellow, and so it only shows clear proof combined with the dash out the door at the very top bundle, which is I Deserve It All. And it goes into botanicals, which is, no, it's so amazing. Hannah just loves it. It's a huge upgrade, girls. So anyways, that's the botanicals. We'll go into further training about that later. It has, if you ever have men that you are facialing, then you have
great.
I know, a closing sheet just for them. And then it also does, because of course, if you happen to do cologne, it shows that. And of course, here is your starter kit that you can print on the back of each closing sheet if and when you choose to. But All of it is all condensed in one so that you have everything at all times, okay? Then, of course, this goes into our tray layouts. This one is the one that we normally use, which has been fixed to the 3D with the day and the night now. Why is, oh, there's 2 per page. I'm like, why is there 2 of the same thing? Okay, now we have the repair set. Then it moves on to the botanicals, which you have your little tray liner for them. Now you've got clear proof set for the yellow. And I think it's cute. Hello, handsome with blue.
Oh.
So then they don't feel left out like, what, I have this pink Mary Kay thing, tray layout. So anyways, you've got the whole shebang in one document. Aren't they cool?
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you think so far?
Amazing.
Good.
Looks good.
I did.
Okay, so now we're going to go into the meat and potatoes of this. Okay. So what you're going to do is, hold on, let me get my, so that I'm not going off chart here. I want to get my notes that I took down so that I don't skip anything. Okay, so now we're going to go over the closing sheet, which is the main 3D one. To give you an example, this is how your presentation would be when it comes time to closing and they have just finished the dash out the door or just facials only, okay? Okay, so now you have your little closing sheet, and at this point, each of them. What I would recommend is you do have inside the new starter kits, there's little placemats with a closing sheet. But if any consultants use those, then only use the pretty part where there's not the closing sheet on the back. If you want to, just put it under the trays, but you're not using those closing sheet, we're using these ones, okay? So at that point, when you get to closing, it'd be as of normal. The closing sheet comes out, and of course, you're gonna explain each and every one of the set. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna say, now go to your right lower hand corner. I'm gonna talk to you about the basic set. This one has, and we can go over the price points, but it goes from the basic set, which comes with the cleanser, the moisturizer, and their choice of foundation. But most generally, we're showing the CC cream or the liquid matte or luminous. And no discount, it's $76. So what I love about it is you're getting full price. You don't have to worry about new consultants worrying about eating into their profits for a discount for this one, okay? Then you're moving to the 3D Miracle set, and this one is $130. They have a savings of $14, and they can select an additional bonus item at 50% off with this bundle, okay? Then you're gonna go into the Ultimate set, and what this one is, of course, because it's the $200 bag, is they get the free roll-up, and they get 2 additional items at 50% off.
Wow.
So what's nice about this is, let's say one of the things that they loved, but I like that it's not on like the old closing sheets were, is of course satin hands. Satin lips are always a favorite, as well as the Skin Vigorate brush. Well, now they can get everything they tried, but they can also at this point get their 50% off them, so you don't eat into your sales, and they can still get a bonus item.
Wow. That's fantastic.
It is. So I think it's great for you as well as for them. Then the I Deserve It All bag is the bonuses up on top as well. So I'm not going to go into further detail because you can go over those. So what we're doing is you're going over, and of course you're explaining, you know, start from the basic, explain the benefits and the bonuses, and work your way up to I Deserve It All bag. And of course, you know, you're going to romance the bag as you normally would and show them the perks of the bag. Okay. Now what I want to show you is a price point. I want you to flip over. So they're flipping over their closing sheet. Voila. Now in your closing, you're showing them the starter kit bag. Okay, so you have to go ahead and tell them that you want to flip it over, and you want to talk a little bit about it. Now everything that comes in this that they've tried is you can talk to them about making extra cash. Of course, at that point, you might have glanced over because you've collected all of these at that point. If there's anything that you did notice, if you happen to actually see prior to this, you could see they wanted extra cash or whatever it is that you can actually go over. And that is only if you knew something prior to talking about this. This is part of your closing. You can allude to any feedback from that. And then you're going to talk about the great things that comes in the starter kit, like 50%, free cars, etc. And so they can quickly glance at this to see what they get for $100. Then now at this point you say, okay, now I want you to flip it back over. And now what you're going to do is go back over the sets again and say, okay, do you guys have any questions? And at that point, you know, usually if there is any, then of course you're going to go over it then. Then what you want to do is say, okay, I have 3 questions for you. Okay, they're going to pull out their profile card and say, okay, on the back of that, in that pink box of your profile card, I want you to answer 3 questions for me. Okay. So now what you're going to do is question number 1, your normal. So I think, Joy, what is helpful for you as well as new consultants is the 3-question close. So you're always going to remember 3 questions. And so it's very easy to remember. My 3 questions are, number 1, my question for you is, if money were no object, which set would you love and want to go home with? Excuse me. Read all of them out loud. The basic set, the ultimate set, the miracle set, or the starter kit set.
Ooh.
Yes. So they have already written it down. Again, they made the choice, and I love that in your closing, they are writing it down. So it's interactive as well. So you're not all of a sudden, they've forgotten when at times to individual close, right? Okay, question number 2 I have for you is, at your next appointment, did you want to do advanced glamour, or did you want to do another spa type beauty experience because there was other spa products that maybe your friends tried tonight that you didn't, that you would absolutely love, or the biocellulose if you have friends? Which one? So I want you to write spa or glamour on question number 2. So it's super easy when you get to closing. Question number 3 that I have for you is, I love to get people's opinions about this opportunity. If you are interested or willing to give me your opinion, I love to give a free lip gloss or mascara to you for giving me your honest opinion. So I want you to write down lip gloss or mascara. So of course they want it for free. So then you're going to automatically, who's not going to write it down, right? So you're not even giving them a yes or no. I love the way that it's laid out. Would you write down lip gloss or mascara? So then at that point, then you know already. I just think it's brilliant.
What's your question for number 3? How do you present that, Christy?
I'd love to get people's opinions, and they've already done the did you know. So I would love to give you, or some of you have a little bit more questions. And for giving me your opinion, I would love to give you a free lip gloss or mascara. Write down lip gloss or mascara. So there's not.
So you're not. Are you saying one to one? Are you saying to get with you? in the next 24 to 48
Well,
hours.
then at that point is because you're just doing the 3 close, and of course you want it simple. Write down lip gloss or mascara only, and then when you get to closing, then at that point you're setting up
Personal calls.
yes, and going over everything else. But it makes it easy in your close because it's just
Those 3 things.
right.
Christy, since I am not a fast writer, can you send me those scripts for the 3 questions?
Absolutely.
This is perfect timing.
Isn't this exciting?
It is super exciting.
I love it. So those are your 3 questions that you're asking. And so then when they bring their profile card, all their 15 referrals are on, or all their referrals, as well as their 3 questions that you have. So when they come to closing, you're going to have, of course, the did you know that they're going to bring, and their name is already on it, and their profile card, and that's it. And everything is on there for you.
That's fantastic.
It is. I think it's pretty exciting. And then at that point, of course, is when once you've done the 3rd question and they wrote down lip gloss or mascara, is where you're going to go. Then you're going to do your drawing for your tickets for whoever had the most tickets. And then, of course, individual closing. And so what I was gonna say is, I know that it works. And literally, when I said, "Which one would you love to have?" Actually, my guest had said that she was torn in between these 2. And literally, because a lot of my appointments I do now, they do even dash out the door at their glamour appointment. So she didn't have. Well, she had a little bit of makeup on. But she didn't have a lot. Most of my clients do not. And so because the I Deserve It All set, actually, she hadn't even tried the cream shadow. She says, "Oh, well, what's that like?" Because she definitely knew she wanted the mascara and lip gloss. So she literally tried it really quick as we were closing and just put it over her eye. It was a done deal, and she moved directly to I Deserve It All because there was, yeah.
Wow, a $15 eyeshadow?
But that's what I mean. It's that simple. So then what I want you to do is when you get to individual closing to finalize that strong close, and we can have Carol share a tiny bit and then we'll be done. And of course, is when you're doing the individual close, if you have one, even if it's the one that's your demo, is you're going to pull the bag out in front of them so that when you're closing them, "Oh, I saw that this is the one with money or no object. Which one would you want to have?" And so by having it hot in their hands to take home and to display and go with them, they're excited that I deserve it all and I get to go home with it today, right? Are there any pointers that you would share, Carol, in regards to doing the roll-up bag right then and there?
No, I just think when they come to the individual close, if a consultant can have a couple of bags, if you can have a bag for, if you're facialing one, we should at least have a bag for them to take right then. But it's real powerful if on the close you open that out, and put it right on their lap. Then you go over the card so they're looking at the stuff on the lap. So, and letting them know that they can take that home tonight. So it's instant gratification.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so wherever you're at in your business, because of course this is recorded as well, at least for sure you have to have one, whether that's your demo, because that is where the romance and the action and the sales really happen. So can you get excited about versus, selling $50 versus I Deserve It or the ultimate sets? And this is where we talked a little bit about numbers and all the new cars that are being launched. How does your numbers increase? Well, I just think it's powerful that the numbers that we went over, as well as I like the whole layout, as well as the new closing sheets and the questions. And it's not that we didn't ask these questions before, but I think there's a lot of power in the new, as well as with the starter kit with just, well, which set would you want to go home with? Like, I'm not begging you to sign up, but this is, you tried all these products in here that you get for $100, as well as if they're not sure, is just by having them write lip gloss and mascara. I think you already have your setup of your interviews already before you can get to individual close.
I think that'll streamline individual close too, because that's one thing I was noticing last night was it was just taking too long, and because of what I was doing, like I was telling you, Christy, I just got too caught up in my head, and so it was just taking too long. Whereas by just doing the simple 3, it'll really help, and they're kind of already answering questions for you prior to
Right.
one-on-one, and so it's just gonna be a lot more efficient.
Yes.
I think too, with this new sheet that you're presenting this evening, did you know? I know that you mentioned that you do a drawing, but again, if it's not right there and something that they're going to take part in, that's probably not that big of a deal if they do this form or not. So I would give them tickets for that, and it just means you don't have to call them back if you're drawing at the end of the month. So why not give anyone who completes the form, you'll give them, 5 tickets for completing the form.
Exactly.
So it's done that night. Everything's done that night. It's not like, well, she's not going to call me, or I'm not going to know who the winner is, or whatever. But a lot of times people will not, answer all the questions or read through it. They'll just blow it off. So that might be incentive. Hey, for this, you're going to get 5 tickets for just filling out this form while your mask is trying. So I would try to make that exciting so that they'll fill out the whole form. It's just like your profile or anything else. And boy, if you don't have the information on that profile card, you're just up a creek if you can't read their email or their phone number correctly.
Well, and we'll go over this in a different, just because for time's sake, but and Joy is a true testimony. I just trained her on this a couple weeks ago, but the new profile form that we are doing, and it's linked. It's a Google sheet that is linked. I think I talked to you a little bit about it, Carol. It's linked to your appointment confirmation email, and so it's so professional, and every one of them is filling it out before they arrive. And so if you need to go back, if you can't read the writing, it's all in your computer or your phone. And so yes, it's absolutely just brilliant. So we can go over the whole setup of that, as well as, because there's a lot of consultants that don't have the training yet either. That will go over how we incorporate that into our appointments as well, that I think that will be very helpful. Because Joy, do you want to just share really quickly what your results were, or what your feedback was?
Yeah, well, it was something that I had never used before, and started to use, and I would say 75% of the clients immediately fill it out, and I get it right away. And then all I have to do is say, oh, hey, by the way, before we meet, don't forget to fill out that form for me. They hop right on and they get it done before the appointment. And they just say how wonderful it is to have in that confirmation email, everything in one spot. They don't have to look through messages. They don't have to listen for a voicemail. It's just in that one email. And then, it helps me feel more professional having that Google link in there, and just kind of like lawyer stuff, doctor stuff. They always have those confirmation emails. And so this is just one more step in the more professional direction for, even my business.
Right, because there's always, the numbers have increased by, I can't tell you, by leaps and bounds, that even if they're friends, they can forward it to them. Mm-hmm. And none of them are showing up without the form not completed. And so everybody is pre-profiled before they arrive, and they're doing it as soon as you send it to them, or days before. And if I notice, if one is missing, when I'm confirming, saying, hey, I'm confirming your appointment tomorrow, your friend so-and-so, because I see here that you're inviting 3 friends, And this is how this is so powerful that this is turning into parties without you even asking them. It's so exciting because you get to, wow, you're bringing 3 friends with you, and so then they're forwarding all to their friends. Oh, I'm missing one for so and so, and they're like, oh yeah, I'll get it right away. Like there is no issue with pre-profiling now, Carol, with this new system.
Well, that's nice.
That's
great.
Really
Yeah,
nice.
my appointments are holding.
Yes, they are, which is great. So, okay, so we'll cover that a little bit later. Is there anything else you want to share before we go this evening?
No, it's good to see you, girls.
You too. All right, thanks for joining. Have a good
Okay.
evening.